We can barely catch our breaths or dry the tears before another mass shooting rocks an American city. Just 2 weeks ago, I stood right here reporting the heartbreaking details of a school shooting in Nashville. Today, it happened in a bank in Louisville, Kentucky, in what the city's mayor calls an evil act of targeted violence after a man in his 20s, armed with a rifle, went on a rampage in a workplace attack, streaming the horror online as he carried out the crime. 4 people were killed, 9 others rushed to a hospital for treatment. Officers ran to the threat, confronting the gunman in an exchange of gunfire, killing the shooter. 2 police officers were among the wounded. Maggie Vespa is in Louisville tonight and has late details.
Tonight, chaos and carnage gripping another American city.
Let's be clear about what this was. This was an evil act of targeted violence.
The familiar terror unfolding in downtown Louisville, Kentucky. Around 8:30 this morning, police say a lone gunman opened fire inside this Old National Bank, killing 4 and wounding 9.
This was terrifying. It was terrifying.
Officers on the scene within 3 minutes. Investigators say this was not a random act.
White male who was employed at Old National Bank. His weapon of choice was a rifle.
Authorities identifying the shooter as Connor Sturgeon, who died at the scene in a shootout with police. He live-streamed the rampage, according to investigators, who late today executed a search warrant on his home. Victims range in age from 40 to 64, including 63-year-old Thomas Elliott, the bank's senior vice president, according to his LinkedIn account, and a friend of Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear.
Tommy Elliott helped me build my law career. Helped me become governor. Gave me advice on being a good dad.
Among the wounded, 2 Louisville Metro police officers. One, Officer Nicholas Wilt, shot in the head. J.D. Worley watched it happen in horror from his office across the street.
The other officers grabbed him and carried him off as he was unfortunately motionless. Never could have fathomed I would ever see something like this happen.
At 26, Officer Wilt is less than 2 weeks out of the academy.
Nick has come out of brain surgery and is in critical but stable condition as we speak.
Kentucky's governor praising police who raced to confront the gunman and asking for time to grieve.
It seems like we argue so much in this country, so much anger. But I still believe that love and compassion and humanity can lead us to a better place. Now, this is hard. It's really hard.
Maggie, any more details on a possible motive here?
So, Lester, according to 2 senior officials, authorities are investigating this as an instance of workplace violence, noting the suspect, who was an employee at that bank, may have suffered from mental health issues, and adding they expect much more to come out in the coming days.
This gunman, apparently he'd never been in trouble with the law before. His coworkers, though, say he was about to be fired. He left a note to his family. Then he went inside this bank with a rifle while live streaming on Instagram. The FBI and ATF tonight on the scene at the home of the Louisville gunman, looking for clues to his deadly rampage at the Old National Bank. Frantic employees were hiding inside the bank vault, gunshots still popping as police stormed the bank in downtown Louisville.
Let's be clear about what this was. This was an evil act of targeted violence.
9 wounded, 5 dead, including the gunman.
He had a long assault rifle, and you hear the shots that start firing.
The bank vice president, close friend of the Kentucky governor, was one of the 4 employees killed.
He was an incredible friend. Tommy Elliott helped me build my law career. Helped me become governor. Gave me advice on being a good dad.
Investigators say the 23-year-old gunman, an employee of the Old National Bank, was about to be fired. He left a note to his family and was live streaming the attack on Instagram. Police were on the scene within 3 minutes.
And for my LMPD officers who took it upon themselves to not wait to assess everything, but just went in to stop the threat so that more lives would not be lost. Thank you.
Rookie officer, 26-year-old Nicholas Wilk, was one of the first to confront the gunman. He was shot in the head and is in critical condition.
Just graduated from the police academy on March 31st. I just swore him in, and his family was there to witness his journey to become a police officer.
An LMPD officer who is right now in critical condition this morning after being shot in the head. That officer, 26-year-old Officer Nicholas Wilt. He was sworn into the department less than 2 weeks ago. Police have identified 5 people killed. Those are 40-year-old Joshua Barrick, 64-year-old Jim Tutt, 63-year-old Tommy Elliott, 45-year-old Juliana Farmer, and 57-year-old Deanna Eckert, who we learned died late last night. Now, throughout the day, we were getting more and more information released to us each time. That news just seeming to hurt the community more and more. And we saw plenty of emotion on the faces of the families of victims who were coming down to this scene. We saw emotion from police. We saw emotion from city leaders. We saw emotion even from Governor Andy Beshear, who is reticent at times to show that emotion. He was in town yesterday. All of them echoing a similar message.
Acts of violence like this hurt. They tear at the fabric of who we are, at our society, at our state, at our country, and this city. Today, I'm hurt.
Down here yesterday, news constantly developing. We've got more developments overnight. We now know that one more victim, a 5th victim, has died. We also know that a 3rd officer was injured in this shooting. I'm going to step out and you can see kind of where the scene sits right now. Obviously, it is a lot quieter this morning than it was just about 24 hours ago. But the remnants are still there. You can feel kind of this heaviness in the air as you look at some of the wood paneling that's up to block some of the broken glass. I went up there just moments ago to take a look at just what I could see inside. There is still so much shattered glass inside the entry hallway. There is a heart of roses sitting right outside the front door, a memorial to those people who lost their lives. Again, now we know 5 victims have died. All 5 that were killed were employees at the bank. LMPD Chief Jacqueline Gwynn Villarroel says police shot and killed the shooter within minutes of arriving at the scene around 9 o'clock Monday morning. So 5 victims are dead, and the shooter is also dead. 8 people were hurt, including an LMPD officer who is right now in critical condition this morning after being shot in the head. That officer, 26-year-old Officer Nicholas Wilt. He was sworn into the department less than 2 weeks ago.
Man, we back with another crazy story out of Kentucky about the bank shooting. But it snapped. He already pre-planned this. Employee said he was about to get fired, so he wanted to retaliate. And so he allegedly walked into the boardroom where all the higher up people was of the bank, managers, co-managers, man, started shooting. You notice ain't nobody else pretty much get hurt like other employees, but all the higher people that run the bank, that's in charge of hiring and firing people, So, and then, one of the higher ups, which I guess he was one of the bank managers, he was, connected with the mayor. So possibly if you got bad blood with him, then shit, he can pretty much blackmail you out of your next job, some shit like that. But Buddy just snapped though. They said that, he had mental health issues, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But, they say he had a lot of concussions because he played sports and everything all through high school or whatnot. But they said he had to wear a helmet during basketball practice, you know what I'm saying? Because he had so many concussions. So he was pretty much fragile. So, they just saying, pretty much trying to say now that, he had CTE and he went crazy and just snapped and really don't know what he was doing or whatever with the disease. That's what they saying with the concussions that he had, But, who knows? He probably did have CTE. If he had that many concussions in high school, So, but he went to college at Alabama, and had a degree in finance and shit. He had a pretty good life. Like I say, he never got in trouble with the police or whatever. But, he just pretty much snapped, and he killed everybody, his bosses and shit. That's pretty much what happened. You know, they say he was about to get fired, and I don't think it was CTE. He knew what he was doing. He went right in there. He knew the people that he was targeting, and he went right in there. He knew all of them was going to be in one place at one time in the board meeting they had. He walked right in there. You know what I'm saying? And, hey, boom, let it go. But like I said, man, let me know what y'all think about this crazy story, man. We going to keep going through this stuff because we in our last days. These crimes right here is senseless, and we can't understand, but we one world. This shit going to keep on happening, man. But prayers goes out to all the ones that lost their life inside that bank, never knowing this would be a day where you going to work that you won't return to your family. Rest in peace, everybody. You know, and like I said, we're in our last days. This going to continue to happen. You know, we can't explain all this crime and senseless shit going on around this world nowadays. But, you know, we're in our last days. That's just what I believe in. That's just what it is. You know, but let me know what y'all think about this crazy story. We out.